Hi everyone, this is audap, and let's check out Caffeine, Victoria's Legacy, running on Nintendo Switch. Now, this game is available on all the platforms as far as I know. I think it's even available on the Xbox, which is usually the platform that visual novels get, or visual novels don't get released on. Yeah, so let's, not many options. I guess we just need to start. It's a work of fiction. I don't know anybody who would think that this is not a work of fiction, but okay. Well, there's always one idiot out there. Unfortunately, he's joined by 4 others. The rising sun colors the skies to the east. The aura of purple gradually fades and merges with the hilly contours, leaving the red and orange to clash for dominance in the painted sky. A young woman, dressed in a décolleté top, gazes far beyond the horizon. She lightly brushes across her sword, neatly in its sheath. Her sheath, embroidered with her house's insignia, hanging at her waist. The insignia of her house, the proof of her royal blood, a sign of her proud heritage. These are all incomplete sentences. Her clothes, ragged by the constant battles she has waged, but her posture shines of prestige. The body of a little girl, battle-hardened by war. Scars that spoil her unmatched beauty will remain with her, both physically and emotionally. 3 years of battle, from sea to sea. How she won it has all but become a blur. Today, she can finally proclaim victory. But the taste of victory isn't sweet. She would rather have lost the war just to bring him back. Reality finally sinks in. The betrayal of one of her most trusted advisors hurts her deeply. But the deepest pain to intrude into her heart was the eventual revelation that she has lost him forever. She cannot rewind time to bring him back. Time never stops for the mourned, no matter how bitter the pain, how cruel the parting. There is no way to bring back a man that is already gone from this world. That is the perpetual fact of this world. At what cost? She shouts into her heart. She looks at this barren land, devoid of everything that should have made this place a great land to start all over. Is this a joke? She thought to herself. I fought so hard for so long. I sacrificed so many of my good men, and in exchange, this is what I get? An island filled with barren rocks and hungry mosquitoes? Where it rains so hard my knees are covered with mud? She swallows her tears and nearly chokes. No, she cannot cry, not when her companions are looking at her. She tries to smile to herself. What would she, from 3 years ago, say in this situation? 3 years ago, she was still young and naive, a brave soul who would dash towards anything, ignoring the perils that befell her. There was no challenge that could dim the light in her heart. She knows exactly what that little girl would say. No volcanoes? No hot springs? Then where shall I get inspiration for my debut novel, where my dearest and I will bathe as if we were in the Gardens of Eden, our eyes appreciating each other's naked beauty? She laughs at her own joke while companions standing behind her gaze silently, bewildered by her outburst. But that will not do. Her first words to establish this land as her own cannot be so unfitting. She is a little girl no more. She is not a princess. From today onward, she will be a queen, and she will act like one. She gazes afar, eyes shining with pride and dignity, befitting of a queen who has conquered and tamed all the evil in this world. I hereby call this land Victoria, and we will build a city where love will last for an eternity. This is in your memory, my beloved, my one and only love. She feigns a smile. Prologue, present day, somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. Was that a dream? What a strange dream. It even moved me to tears, like a song with no lyrics. Yes, a song with no lyrics, no context. I was weeping for a girl with no name, no history or face. A girl who just flashed by in my dreams, like a stranger on the subway. No, that's not the appropriate way to describe her. She was more like coffee. Coffee? Why coffee? Because she looked bitter? No, it's because of something else. It's because of the smell. And it is at this moment I find myself fully awake. Inside a cockpit that is very much my reality. Beside me is a woman pouring out coffee with a rich, sweet scent. Is that coffee you are pouring out? Yes, it is. What else could it be? She smiles at me. The lights are dim. I have a feeling she is intentionally covering her eyes with her cap, which feels so out of place on this plane. Coffee brewed with cold water in a cold brew bottle. I bought some bottled water and started brewing the coffee 12 hours ago. Better than the swill they serve on the plane. You've been brewing coffee for the past 12 hours? Yes. I can't use the hot water on the plane to brew hot coffee. Did you know they use toilet water to serve coffee and tea? That is just an urban myth. The plane only has one water tank. Of course they come from the same source. But I do not plan to argue. I'm old enough to know that the appropriate response is to nod politely and make a soft whispering, Even finding the right bottled water is such a hassle. There were so many brands. I bought all of them, tasted each one. Most of them were terrible. Too acidic, too sweet, too soft. It took me a while to find the perfect water for brewing my coffee. You can taste the difference? Of course I can. I can smell the minerals just by taking a sniff. I'm a barista, and water is the most important element in a cup of coffee. Add bad water to great coffee beans, and you end up with terrible coffee. Use great water for average coffee beans, and your coffee still turns out amazing. You want to try some? Sure, coffee that doesn't come from the toilet. Woohoo! I really don't feel like it. Yeah, sure. Coffee. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I feel like Snow White being offered a big red apple. But hey, this is real life, and in real life, people in general are nice. This isn't some fantasy story where a wrong choice can kill you. Right? I look at the coffee in my hands. If you're not a coffee geek, then I suppose the origins of this coffee are lost on you. But I can tell you, I only drink good coffee from amazing coffee beans. I take a sip of the brown liquid before me. Intensely satisfying. That's the first thought that comes to my mind. Never have I drank a cup of coffee which gives out a mouthful of natural chocolate flavor. There isn't even the slightest hint of pungent bitterness lingering on my tongue. Wow, this is good. I mean, I don't drink coffee often, but I can tell this is different. You probably can taste the chocolate, but I can tell you there's a little bit more than that. If you start becoming a regular coffee drinker, you'll smell flowers and fruit as well. I continue to nod politely, but deep down I feel conflicted, as now I realize that she is a coffee snob. There's nothing wrong with being a coffee snob. I live in the modern world where I'm ready to accept anyone, anything. I have even accepted the fact that my future wife could be 2D. I do have many complicated relationships with coffee snobs, and that is slowly eating into me. So? I haven't asked yet. Where are you going? Traveling? Business? Uh-huh. And that was all I said to her, sweet and short, conveying no information of particular importance. But even if not to her, I should probably say something about myself, even though there is nothing, absolutely nothing, interesting about me. You see, my name is Taka Knight, and I am ordinary. You will not find someone more plain and boring. I'm the perfect self-insert protagonist if this were a video game. I wear checkered shirts and jeans, the only thing you'll ever see me wear. My best friend was my dog called Jack, who died 10 years ago, and my greatest fear when talking to girls is getting electrocuted. Seriously. As far as my gender preference, the number of digits in my bank account, or whether I've had sex, those are questions I'd rather keep to myself. Why? Because I'm ordinary, and the world isn't kind to ordinary people. That creates no impact on the world around them. I learned that the hard way. I learned that the best way to protect myself is to be vague with everything. That's why I'm not telling her I'm going to search for my mom. Now that's something a bit out of the ordinary for me. Yes, my mom. I haven't seen my mom since I was 6. Recently, I've been having dreams about her inside a coffee shop where my parents and I used to live. The coffee house was also named after me. I remember that coffee house, Taka Coffee House. Every morning I would hear the sound of pulleys and the awnings would roll down smoothly like a toy train on its tracks. I would sit on the floor next to the green wooden chairs, pretending to be a drummer, clinging and banging on the metal frames. Then I would run out of the cafe and push my face against the window, making naughty faces towards the customers. and that's when I would see my dad concentrating hard on pouring hot water from a kettle into a funnel. His hands were always so steady, rotating with such consistency. Even as a child, I was captivated by the performance. I still remember the smell of coffee released into the air. And time seemed to freeze as I repeated that moment countless times in my memories. Then I would see my mom working tirelessly in front of the cashier, greeting customers with that friendly smile. Always so swift and full of energy, she is the sun that shines through the cafe, brightening up the mood of everyone she encountered. But the most precious memory of all is when my mom turned around and met my dad's gaze. She would smile and look at him as if nothing else mattered. That's how I learned what love is. But that was it. On my 6th birthday, she suddenly disappeared from my life. My dad would never tell me what happened. My dad, he became aloof, distant and cold. He was never there for me anymore since that day. That's why, sometimes, I will let my dreams take me to happier times, where I can see my dad and mom, happy as a family again. That little piece of memory, I cling onto it dearly, as it's the only memory I have of my mom. One day I was tidying up Dad's room when I stumbled upon an envelope embroidered in colorful floral silken patterns. Inside was a letter addressed to my dad. Dear Richard, sadness lingers in my heart, for I must leave. She is family and always will be. But you will not listen to me, having a vendetta so deep it has clouded your judgment. Is victory everything you care about? If you are after a Renago, my family is not who you should be going after. I expect to return to Edo if nothing changes. And say happy birthday to Taka for me. Your loving wife, Sarah. The letter baffles me, as its contents read like a mystery, but one thing is clear, it contains clues to my mom's whereabouts. The letter mentions Edo, the ancestral name of Tokyo. I do not know why my mom would use the term Edo, but regardless, it was my only piece of solid information. And that's why I'm on this plane, making my way towards the other side of the world. Interesting. Interesting? I thought I was running all that in my mind. Did I accidentally tell her my life story? So, you are Taka. Yes, I'm Taka. But did I ever tell her my name? What's going on? The plane starts shaking, down and sideways violently. The plane is making an abrupt descent. Thundering screams echo from the front and back. The only unperturbed presence is the girl sitting beside me, seemingly oblivious to the situation. She keeps looking at me, and as I, once again, look at her, I sense something sinister by how she curls her lips towards me. Now, Taka, answer me this, and answer carefully, as how you respond could very well determine your fate. I'm not sure if I want to answer any questions. All I want to do now is scream. My question. What does this coffee bean actually do? Huh? You're a coffee terrorist? Did you drug me with this coffee? No idea. Now, free hugs before we die. Okay. What does this coffee actually do? I don't know if a coffee terrorist doesn't seem right. No idea. Free hugs before we die. Alright, your question makes no sense, and we're going to die. Can't we, at least, hug each other and spread some love? What? I mean, everyone wants to feel attached to somebody when meeting their death, right? Oh dear, I was wondering how you'd react, but never did I think you'd make outrageous comments. I'm not interested in hugging you, Taka. You need to earn it. Besides, no one's going to die today. As for your quest to search for your mom, I hope you find your answers soon. Are you for real? We're going to die. No, we won't. You just have to believe. What? Believe in what? I'm not really interested in her answer, as there is a hole in the plane sucking everything out into the unending sky. But she answers me calmly. Believe in caffeine. And that's when she unbuckles my seatbelt. What? A strong force pulls me out from my seat. My body is thrown out into the deep blue sky. I try to maintain consciousness. But the deafening screams of the wind sound like an invitation from the devil. Everything in vain. My life's going to end. The clouds keep falling towards me. I'm scared. I don't want to die. The blowing wind towards my face. Just when I finally find the courage to face my past. Taka, who is calling me? Why is everything slowing down? Caffeine will show you the way. Believe in yourself. Believe in caffeine. Believe in caffeine? A little heart cloud there.
Let the fear go away. Caffeine will show you the way. Stop fighting, stop looking. What you see is not even real. Let me show.
I can't remember how long it was. It feels like I've been asleep for a long time. I felt water rushing into my lungs. There was a moment when I felt like I was drowning in the ocean. Then I started feeling soft sand beneath my back, gentle waves pushing my body deeper into its embrace. Now I hear seagulls calling from afar, and the sounds gradually disappear. The softness of the sand gives way to the comfort of a feathery cushion. I'm now sleeping peacefully on a soft feather pillow. And then I open my eyes. Where am I? Am I in heaven? Is this what heaven looks like? A sight of fine bricks and the sound of a broomstick sweeping the floor. I close my eyes and open them again. I'm still here. I try lifting my head up to have a better look around the room. And then I see her. The shadow of a younger girl with long hair and a reddish hue, tied up in a ribbon held up by a yo-yo on both sides, dressed in green, humming a tune. Everything's so calm and serene. She's like a guardian angel, quietly sweeping the floor. I couldn't resist the urge. I pulled myself up and whisper in a low voice, "Mom?" She slowly turns her head around. A bright light is shining out from her whole body, magical, pretty, and bright. She smiles at me. She has the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. This scene, this atmosphere. It's like going back in time, reminding me of the past that was long gone. I still do not know where I am, but at this moment I feel safe, I feel calm, and I feel a new adventure has just begun. Chapter 1. I push myself upright. I run my fingers along my body, searching for signs of broken bones, twisted arms, paralyzed limbs, or hideous scars. There are none. I'm alive and well. I have miraculously survived. That's when I turn to the girl who's smiling at me. Am I dead? Are you my afterlife angel? A cute girl in a maid's dress. Wow, a cute girl. And you're in a maid's dress. I guess they don't mistreat weebs in heaven.
Maid's dress?
You're in costume cosplay, right? It's a different take from the black and white costume.
This is not maid's clothing. It's a beautiful dress I tailor-made for myself. Also, I don't know what cosplay means. Oh dear. Now you think I'm your mom. Now you think I'm a maid. You need to take some rest.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it. What was with me? That was so impolite of me, and that embarrassing slip of the tongue of calling her mom. But as I look at her again, her sad, drooping eyes have already been replaced with a squinted smile.
But I'm so glad you're fine. You were lucky to have survived that crash. You can probably still see the smoke if you look out the window. It was a sight when the airship blew up in flames.
Wait. Airship?
You were on that airship, right? I ran to the harbor immediately when I saw what happened and found you lying on the beach.
No, that's not it. It was a plane from Seattle, not an airship.
Seattle? Where's that?
Seattle's in the States.
The States? Oh, I know what you mean. You're from the West Coast states, aren't you?
It's not called the West Coast States, it's the United States of America.
Never heard of it.
No kidding. You've never heard of the USA?
USA? That's a really strange name for a country. Are there any famous baristas born there?
This feels so weird. How can she not know what the USA stands for? She's speaking in perfect English, so it can't be a language problem. I take another look at the room. The archaic wooden ceilings and floor, and the gas lamp that's hanging on the ceiling. This room looks straight out from a historical drama. My eyes flicker towards the table beside me. A small but polished mechanical clock with golden-plated frames, silverwares, and gears is installed behind the translucent glass. A piece of clockwork sprang from the back. The clock is eerily quiet. It isn't moving. Alice follows my gaze and turns towards the clock.
Oh, I see. The clock has stopped running. It probably hasn't been turned for a while.
She picks up the clock and starts winding it before replacing it on the table. The clock starts ticking again. That's a really cool mechanical clock.
Really? It looks like every other clock to me.
Looks like every other clock. This doesn't sound right at all. What do I want to ask her? The only famous barista I know is called Spark Ducks. An ordinary clock? I can't take it anymore. Yeah, there we go. Why did you ask me about famous baristas from my country? I only know the name of coffee shops, not individual baristas.
If you mention some names, then I might know which country you're from.
Okay, but you could have asked about famous politicians, TV stars, or athletes. Isn't it a bit strange to ask about baristas?
It's not strange at all. Of course you would ask about famous baristas. Baristas are such important people.
No way. I mean, we have so many famous singers, like Beyonce, Bruno Moon. We're also the country that invented the Y-phone. So surely you've heard of companies like Google and Amazon.
Sorry, but I really don't know what you're talking about.
That can't be right.
What about famous coffee houses? Are there any famous coffee houses from the USA?
Sparducks. There's also a really popular fast food chain called McWobbles.
What's McWobbles? And who would name their coffee house Sparducks? That sounds so weird.
Actually sounds better. No way. What do I want to ask her? Ordinary clock? Oh, why did you say this mechanical clock is ordinary? It looks really expensive to me.
It's not really that expensive. Every house has one like it.
Really? I thought everyone would have switched to looking at their smartphones by now. Oh, speaking of my smartphone, where is it? It's not in my pocket anymore. Oh, I guess I lost it.
I don't really know what you're talking about. What's a smartphone?
No way. I won't ask her. Can't take it anymore. I can't take this anymore.
Hey, where are you going?
I want to go and have a look outside. I throw away the blanket covering myself, then I realize I am only in my underwear. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry I forgot to tell you. I prepared some new clothes for you.
She runs out with her eyes covered. Let me get dressed first. There's still so many questions I have left unanswered. First, where am I? Second, how did I get here? Third, what are these weird clothes she's given me? What is this? Is this some kind of vest? Did she give me a wooden suit to wear? A flat cap? What kind of costume is this? I finish putting the clothes on and I look into the mirror. I'm dressed like a student during the French Revolution, plotting against the cake-loving Marie Antoinette. I guess this will do. But what happened to my clothes? Were they ripped apart and left soaking on the beach? In that case, does that mean I lost the letter? The letter. A cold chill runs down my spine. My only connection with my parents. Gone. I let that sink in for a moment before walking downstairs. I walk downstairs. The girl comes over to inspect my clothing. She looks at me approvingly.
Oh, I haven't introduced myself yet. My name's Alice. I'm the owner of this coffee house.
Nice to meet you, Alice. My name's Taka.
Your name's Taka? What a coincidence. This coffee house is also named Taka.
Huh?
Yes, just look at the sign outside. It says Taka Coffee House.
This coffee house is called Taka Coffee House? I look around the shop. Everything about this coffee house looks eerily familiar. My heart starts to pound like a beating drum. My lips tremble trying to find the words to express myself. There is a sense of nostalgia, but it can't be. I'm not prepared for this. I run out of the coffee house. This can't be. That awning. That's the same green awning my mom used to roll out every morning. That's the same window I used to stick my face against every time I'm playing outside the cafe. I look up at the green awning again and I see the words Taka Coffee House. I stare for ages. My eyes water and my vision starts to blur. I have come back. I did not expect this, but here I am. I'm peering into a vision of happiness that is long gone.
Are you alright?
I really don't know what to say. I remember this place.
Maybe you should come in and take a seat.
She leads me back into the coffee house and we sit down at a table.
Here, try some of my pastries.
Alice hands me a plate with a variety of pastries. There is also a collection of macaroons in rainbow colors. I grab a macaroon and take a bite. I have to say, these are really good. Taste like iced strawberries. I take another one and keep eating. This one tastes like fresh mint. Then another one. This one. Delicious.
You must be so hungry.
Oh, sorry. I guess I was a bit hungry after everything that happened. But these macarons are really good.
Thank you. I'm so happy you said that. Though, I still have a lot to work on. I need to work on the texture, and this time I might have made them a little too sweet.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. These macaroons just gave my life back.
Yes, but I tried the macarons from the Royal Pastry Shop and the texture was so much better.
I don't know what happened to the sound. I heard their pastry chef spent 2 years testing out different recipes until he got the perfect shape and crunchiness. 2 years? Wow, that's what I call dedication.
Yes, that's why I need to work hard. My dream is to become the best pastry chef in the world.
Wow, I can see how determined you are. I'm sure you will succeed.
Thanks, but first, I need to make sure this coffee house doesn't close down.
What do you mean?
The issue is, we haven't been able to hire a barista. None of the baristas that work here were able to last more than a month.
And why is that the case? The moment I finish the sentence, I start to feel a bit dizzy. Oh, my head. Dark edges appear in my vision. I quickly grab onto the edge of the table to prevent myself from falling.
Oh no. How are you feeling?
Not very well, to be honest.
Looks like you need a cup of coffee to heal your body.
Coffee? Shouldn't I get more sleep instead?
No, you definitely need a cup of coffee. Since we don't have a barista, I can walk you over to the nearest coffee house.
Alice doesn't wait for me to reply and is already heading to the door. I begin to worry about Alice more than about myself. A cup of coffee in my condition? What is she thinking? But she said it as if my life depended on that cup of coffee. And I feel bad if I don't follow her. I guess I still have the energy to take a short walk. Alice leads me out of the coffee house. We start to descend along the narrow alleyway. So, Alice, where exactly am I? Where exactly am I? All these buildings, they look weird. Oh, this is the main street, Victoria. Did you not expect Victoria's main street to look like this? This place is called Victoria? Yes, this is Victoria, the coffee capital of the world. The main street is where all the best coffee houses in Victoria are located. The place I'm taking you is called Moriah Coffee House. It's just right here. Let's go in. I walk into the coffee house to find myself in a grand hall with fancy chairs and tables. Wow, this place looks grand. We're having some serious gourmet coffee here. Yes, indeed. Our coffee is definitely on the more luxurious side. Yikes, you scared me. I apologize. It seems that I'm yet to master the technique of greeting people. That's all right. Can you help us brew a coffee with strong floral scent and herbs for my friend here? He survived the airship crash and is badly in need of something to revive him. Certainly. I'll get it prepared now. Judging by your friend's condition, I would suggest a single origin Aximite coffee. Aximite? I think it's Aximite coffee from the Yarshif region. Please take a seat first. Oh, what coffee? But before I can blurt out my confusion, Alice has already left with the server, leaving my questions unanswered. The waitress leads us to a row of couches. I crash onto the couch and close my eyes. Hey, don't sleep here. The coffee will be ready soon. I think this couch has way more healing powers than coffee. 15 minutes have passed. There's no sign of my coffee. They're surely taking their time. Maybe I should have a look around. There are other customers here, all in formal dresses and suits, but something is off. Really off. For one thing, the suits and dresses all look vintage. I want to ask Alice if we're in a movie set, but she was already suspicious of my last question. It would be rude to ask something strange again. I decide to take a subtler approach. Alice, everyone here seems really well dressed. Of course, Moriah Coffee House is the most prestigious in Victoria. One of the first to be established and founded by the legendary barista Moria Sensei. Moria Sensei? So this place is Japanese? The interior doesn't look Japanese at all. It's said that the founder of the city, Queen Victoria herself, frequented this coffee house, so you can imagine how prestigious this place is. And there's a queen called Victoria? I can't imagine any two words that are farther away from the same spectrum. Queen and Sensei. Queen Victoria, she named the city after herself? What is that funny looking mural over there? Must be real expensive. Well, what's the funny looking mural? Oh, what's that funny looking mural on the wall over there? Funny looking mural? Oh, you mean the flavor wheel? Alice and I look towards the wall at the corner of the coffee house. Against the gray backdrop is a mural shaped like a star. There's actually one inside the menu too. Let me flip to that page. This is the Victorian flavor wheel. It is a categorization of the different flavors in coffee, which element they correspond to. Which element they correspond to? Well, I don't understand. For example, a pungent, spicy flavor in coffee corresponds to the fire element in coffee, which gives you the power to create fireballs. I stare at Alice as if she's from another planet. That's hard to explain. I'm not really sure of the specifics myself. Maybe you should ask a barista to help you out. They're more knowledgeable about the power of caffeine. The power of caffeine? Here's your single origin coffee. Enjoy. Oh, that took a while. I'm sorry you felt that way, sir, but we take our time to brew our coffee to ensure it adheres to the highest standards. I hope you will also take your time to appreciate what we have brewed for you. All right, I'm sorry. I appreciate it. Taka, maybe you shouldn't have the coffee now before it turns cold. I hold the cup up and begin to drain it. Hey, wait, what are you doing? Drinking coffee? But you're drinking it so carelessly. The caffeine won't work if you're not paying attention. Sorry, but I really don't get it. First, you need to put it close to your nose so you can detect the aroma. Now, what do you smell? I take a sniff. It smells like coffee. What else? Is it flowery, herbal, smoky, or nutty? I take another sniff, focusing hard this time. I don't want to irritate Alice anymore. Now you mention it, I do smell something kind of fruity. That's good. Now remember that aroma and take a sip. Feel the texture of the coffee. I take a slurp of the coffee and let it carefully follow along my tongue. It's sweet, like apples. As the liquid flows across the sides of my tongue, I sense a natural sour taste, bright and clear, like oranges and lime lingering in the background. Lastly, I use the back of my tongue. I detect faint bitterness. Suddenly, I feel revitalized. I have no idea what happened, but it seems the coffee has got rid of all my fatigue. Oh, I feel so alive now. You know what? I feel like singing. I feel so alive. I feel so alive for the very first time. Taka, control yourself. Oh, this is embarrassing. Hey, give me a break. I survived a plane crash. I deserve my moment. Alright, Taka. So, you've really recovered? Much better. It felt like dying. Now I feel so alive. That's great. I knew getting you a premium version of the coffee would work. But I don't get it. What's so special about this coffee? Why, caffeine, of course. Caffeine? Suddenly I hear a loud cry from behind me. I whip around and find a man only an arm's length from where I'm sitting. It's too dark to see his face properly, but his gestures make it clear he isn't happy. Lady Stanley, I knew I would find you here. I've come to challenge you to a coffee duel. Movement draws my eyes as the woman stands, her gaze fixed on the man in front of her.
It was such a beautiful, peaceful day. It seems that I can't just enjoy a cup of coffee by myself, can I? Do I even know you? Who are you? Enlighten me to why I should accept your challenge.
How dare you pretend not to recognize me? I'm the barista who works at Steamtown Coffee House. The coffee house you just gave a terrible review. I demand an apology for ruining my reputation. People around me start chatting with each other. They seem more excited than anything else. It seems that a barista over there is challenging Lady Stanley. What? A barista challenging the governess herself? That's madness. Doesn't he know there's no chance he could win?
Oh, I remember now. You're the barista who claimed to have invented a new kind of coffee. Let me see if I can recall the name. Oh, yes. The avocado latte, served in an avocado shell. You claimed that your coffee would help me lose weight. I can see why. Anyone who drinks your avocado latte is prone to terrible stomach cramps the following day. I could barely eat a slice of bread after having your latte.
How dare you insult me again? I spent 2 months experimenting to develop my creation. You will show some respect to my efforts.
2 months? Before you could brew that piece of rubbish? Don't make me laugh.
Hey, Alice, what's going on here?
It's Lady Stanley. She's being challenged to a coffee duel. From what I just heard, Lady Stanley gave a very negative review towards the barista's coffee house. The young barista couldn't stand the insult and is now challenging her to a duel. But I think all bets are on Lady Stanley to win.
Who is Lady Stanley? Is she a famous barista?
No, Taka, she's not a barista. She's a cupper, and a cupper from the 4 great families as well.
The 4 great families?
The 4 great families are the cuppers that fought alongside our founder, Queen Victoria, who founded the city 200 years ago. Lady Stanley is the current title holder of House Stanley, and we all know her abilities in caffeine are extraordinary.
I glance over to the lady once again. Beautiful ladies usually have extraordinary powers. I can't let a man beat up a woman, it's not right. I'm calling her for the lady. Beautiful ladies usually have extraordinary powers. Oh, cool. I get to watch this lady beat up the guy. I'm rooting for the lady. Not sure how she can fight in that dress, but maybe she has some kick-ass martial arts skills. Maybe she has a sword hidden beneath her dress. Or even better, she has 20 ninjas hidden in this coffee house, waiting to jump out and kick the barista's ass.
I bring no guards. I do not need guards.
What? Was she saying that to me? Did she just read my mind?
Taka, what were you thinking just then? Perhaps you should try closing your mind.
Closing my mind? I really don't know what's happening. I glance over to Lady Stanley once more, but her glare is no longer focused on me.
Fine, let's make this quick. I have other tasks to attend to today.
Don't underestimate me. I'm going to show you the days of cuppers like you are over. So I'm in a world where duels are still a way to settle disputes? What kind of duel is this? Are they going to engage in a fist fight, or do they have swords concealed behind their backs, ready to strike?
Prepare for us 2 espresso shots, please.
Huh? Espresso shots? 2 shots are prepared, one for Lady Stanley and one for the other barista. I see. So it's an espresso duel. An espresso duel? Are they going to keep drinking espresso shots until one of them ends up in the hospital? Huh? No, it's not like that at all. Just watch, Taka. Both duelers pick up one glass of shot, take a sniff, and drink the shot. Great shot. Coffee beans from the volcanic islands of Kona. A perfect espresso roast. Extra caffeine kick as well. Lady Stanley doesn't say anything. Ha! Thought so. You're too out of touch. You're having trouble deciding what to say about this fine glass of espresso. I'm not going to wait for you. Here goes nothing. Hmm? No way. This couldn't be happening. The blue fireball grows until it's the size of a football. The flames fly towards the ceiling. Then the fireball flies towards Lady Stanley with a growling howl, engulfing her in a sea of flames. What on earth is happening? Lady Stanley is covered in blue flames, her body all but disappearing beyond a thick layer of smoke. Oh no. What did you do? You killed her. All because of a latte? Ha! Now who's talking? Looks like I have... But before the barista can finish, the smoke dissipates. To everyone's surprise, Lady Stanley is totally unharmed.
Is that all you have got?
That's impossible. Those were blue flames, hot enough to melt steel. How could you come out unscathed?
Tell me, did you just say that the espresso shot was brewed with Kona coffee beans with an extra caffeine kick?
Yeah, Frank, this is a super weird visual novel. Yes, why ask?
Nothing you said was wrong, it was just a little brief.
Yeah, I've been accused of such. A little brief? What do you mean?
Half a year ago, in the middle of summer, a minor eruption covered the kingdom of Hawaii with a thin layer of ash. It blew straight into Mauna Loa, allowing for a small amount of sunlight to pass through despite a lack of rainfall. Just the perfect amount of sunlight to warm the coffee cherries. The ash also brought some unfamiliar qualities of acidity to the soil. That acidity brought in new flavors, unknown to Kona coffee previously. The taste of apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar? But
But you couldn't taste anything like that. Of course you can't. It's subtle, but it's there. Do not forget who I am. I am the master of telepathy. And what is the flavor that corresponds to telepathy?
the barista is sweating like mad. Sourness.
Yes. Natural sourness. Citric fruits with flavor notes clear and bright is my cup of coffee. And besides telepathy, what does the taste of sourness bless you with?
You sucked in all the energy I just blasted towards you?
You finally realized it, didn't you? Yes, I've collected every single drop of energy from your fireball. I now have it stored inside my palms.
Suddenly the whole room plunges into darkness. Even the air has suddenly dropped by a few degrees as a freezing chill sweeps in.
Now I'm going to return it to you.
A magic circle glowing with a luminous green appears in front of Lady Stanley. She looks at the cupper with a confident smile. Suddenly a roaring sound fills the whole coffee house. My eyes are forced to close as Lady Stanley's palm shoots out a string of blinding lights. The roaring noise subsides. When I open my eyes, the barista is lying on the floor, unconscious. It's all over. Lady Stanley has won with class. The whole coffee house erupts into cheers. Lady Stanley walks elegantly to the counter and puts down several gold coins.
Give this man a cup of coffee. He needs a full day's rest to recover. Have a latte. What a joke.
As Lady Stanley walks out the door, I hear someone murmur behind me.
That's the power of caffeine, Taka.
I turn around. Did someone just say my name? That voice sounds so familiar. Where have I heard that voice before?
That was brilliant.
We were all expecting this to be a fire caffeine performance. But Lady Stanley managed to find the subtle acidic flavors in the espresso and completely change the tide. I've never seen such an exciting duel before. Oh, very Dragon Ball. I mean, sort of. But Alice, is this normal?
What do you mean, if it's normal?
I mean, I was looking at his hands all the time. That fireball came out of nowhere. Is that the power of caffeine? Hey, I just had some caffeine as well. Does that mean I can punch out a fireball? I punch my fist up. I don't expect anything to come out. Of course, nothing came out.
Taka, you can't perform a fire caffeine. The coffee I just ordered for you doesn't have a pungent ashy flavor. Do you know how the power of caffeine works?
No.
So you know nothing about caffeine? That's unheard of. Don't they have powerful cuppers in the West Coast states? Anyway, it's getting late. We should head back to the coffee house now.
Alice and I start walking back to the coffee house. I stand outside for a while, looking at the landscape. After seeing what just happened in the coffee house, the electric architecture doesn't look as weird anymore.
It's really hard to believe you haven't seen a coffee duel before.
I should tell Alice the truth. Tell her that I'm not actually from this world. I'm either dreaming or something about this space-time continuum is totally messed up. Somehow I've been plunged into an alternate reality. But should I tell her the truth? It doesn't feel like the right moment to explain. Besides, how would I start? Falling off a plane and surviving is already a miracle. Falling into a totally different world should be impossible. Can I expect Alice to believe a word I say? What about the coffee shop? The one from my childhood memories? If I remember this place, then it can't be a totally different reality, can it? Alice, what year is this?
It's 2020, but why are you asking?
Just making sure I won't accidentally date my mom. Is that a Back to the Future reference? Just making sure. I'm just making sure, that I didn't lose any memory or something. Nothing to be worried about. All good.
Alright, Taka.
So this is the same year as my world. But even with that said, the whole city looks antiquated. It's hard to imagine this is 2020. What could have happened to make this world so technologically backwards? Caffeine? Magic? Does the ability to perform magic make science less essential? Is that why technology has fallen way behind in this world? We arrive back at Taka Coffee House. The sun is starting to set. Alice, can you tell me more about the magic I just saw?
Magic? You mean caffeine? No one here performs magic, Taka. Magic is just a children's tale.
Fine, caffeine then. What exactly can caffeine do?
It can do a lot of things. What you can do depends on your belief system. In Victoria, cuppers can perform a whole variety of feats that are impossible for people outside the city. Shooting out fireballs and fighting in coffee duels isn't the only way to use caffeine. Caffeine can also heal your body, make you temporarily more focused on your work, and can teleport you from one location to another. There's also caffeine that can turn water into ice or steam. It was pivotal in pushing Victoria into the industrial age.
And you can do all that by drinking coffee.
Different types of coffee have different properties. But in the end, it all depends on your ability to identify the unique flavors and aromas in your coffee.
I don't get it. Isn't coffee just coffee? You make it sound as if there's hundreds of different types of coffee in the world.
What are you talking about, Taka? There's millions of different types of coffee beans in the world. Every coffee bean from a different continent, different region, different mountain, or valley has a different taste. Even coffee plantations on different sides of the same hill would be exposed to different kinds of soil. We learned that at kindergarten. Caffeine is the foundation of Victoria.
Can you perform caffeine?
Unfortunately, I can't. But performing caffeine requires years of palate training, and coffee is expensive. A cup of premium coffee like the one you just had is nearly a day's wage for most people. Caffeine isn't really for commoners like me.
Wow, a day's wage? I feel so bad about you paying for that expensive cup of coffee. I should pay you back.
You don't have to repay me. In fact, you should stay here as long as you'd like.
Really? I can stay?
It doesn't look like you have a place to stay anyway, right? And you're in no condition to be roaming around Victoria looking for lodging. The whole second floor is empty. The bedroom hasn't even been occupied for nearly a year. So I wouldn't mind you staying here and looking after the place during the night.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
And maybe if I stay at this coffee house, I can search for clues about my mom. This is my parents' coffee house after all. There must be some clues hidden in the attic or basement or anywhere.
Yeah, caffeine isekai.
Great, then that's it. You'll be staying here until you are better. Yay! This is the happiest day of my life.
I'm not sure why you two are so happy, but I'm here to close down this coffee house.
Dun dun dun. What?
Constantine the Enforcer. Oh no, I forgot. It's today.
Wait, I don't understand. Who is this guy? Why is he closing down the coffee house?
Do you have to ask why? We discussed this.
Please, don't close it down. I'm trying to hire a barista, but no one will take the job.
Alice, what's going on?
You have no idea what's happening, do you?
That's kind of why I'm asking. That's why, yeah.
This coffee house hasn't sold a single cup of coffee in a month, and that's against the law.
There's a law that says you have to serve coffee in a coffee house?
Of course. What's the point of calling a coffee house if you don't sell coffee?
He's got a point. And why is no one willing to work here?
Because of the curse.
The curse?
The well-known barista curse of Taka Coffee House. That's none of my business. The fact is, you don't have a barista now. I am obligated to close this coffee house down. Now, you two need to step outside while I lock the main door with this chain.
No, please don't. I've put everything into this coffee house. If you close it down now, I'll have nowhere to go.
You should have thought of that before you invested in this piece of junk.
What did you say? This coffee house is not a piece of junk.
And just who are you? Tell me, why is this conversation your business to begin with?
I'm... Just, who am I? Do I say I'm a time traveler? A visitor from another world? Do I have anything that would impress this guy here? I'm the new barista here.
Taka.
The new barista? You're the new barista?
Yes, I am, with lots of experience. I've been brewing coffee since last summer. At Sparduck's.
A barista at Sparduck's? Never heard of this coffee house before.
Well, it's in the West Coast states. Taka has just returned to Victoria from the West Coast states after being away for a long, long time.
Did Alice just start making things up? But good for her. I was starting to run out of ideas. Alice is pretty quick-witted.
Why are your pupils so large?
That's because I'm lying. No, I mean, I'm telling the truth.
But a very bad liar. Constantine does not seem to care if Alice is lying or not, though. Instead, he turns to me and gives me an intense stare.
All right, so you are a barista. Are you registered with the Coffee Academia?
Coffee Academia? What's that?
Thought so. You know you are not allowed to brew coffee in Victoria until you are a registered barista. Correct?
You need to register to be a barista? Seriously?
You think this is a joke? A barista is the most prestigious occupation in Victoria. A single cup of under-extracted coffee could endanger the lives of our cuppers. Do you think you can just call yourself to be a barista?
I had no idea. I can go and register now.
Too late. I'm closing down this coffee house today.
Surely you can wait a few hours.
No.
Really? Don't be like that. Give us some flexibility.
The law has no flexibility. Written on paper, set in stone. You have either broken the law or you have not.
But this is our life. There must be mercy beyond the law.
Never heard of that.
Wait! Listen to me! Both of you, stop arguing!
Now what, Alice? If you're going to plead for mercy, then be warned that I won't be listening.
Isn't there a law that states a barista with foreign coffee house experience that has just arrived to Victoria can temporarily work as a barista for 15 days? All he has to do is pass the barista exam in 15 days, and he can continue to work here, right?
There is indeed such a law.
So, I'm officially hiring Taka as a barista at Taka Coffee House. He will register for the barista test and obtain his license in 15 days. That's certainly allowable, isn't it?
We both look at Constantine, who is now deep in thought.
That is indeed in accordance with Victorian law. 15 days. That's it. I'll be back in 15 days. If by then you still have not obtained your license, then that is it. This coffee house will be shut down.
Constantine doesn't wait for us to reply. He turns around and heads towards the door, not even bothering to look back.
You did it! You saved Taka Coffee House.
Just for now. What just happened? What's this license I need to get?
The barista license. You need it before you can practice coffee brewing in Victoria. Tomorrow morning, you'll need to head to the Coffee Academia and register for the barista test. Once you pass the test, you can officially be a barista. But
what?
you really plan to do this? You really plan to be a barista at this coffee house?
Of course. I'm not going to watch it get closed down by some stupid law. But also, I owe you my life. I want your dream to come true. This coffee house has my name on it. Oh, well. I mean, all those things are true. I want your dream to come true. Because I want your dream to come true.
My dream come true?
You want to become the best pastry chef in the world, right? Judging by your pastries, I know you can do it. I want to make sure that happens, so I will help you save this coffee house, no matter what.
I don't know what to say, Taka. I feel like crying. Thank you, Taka. I can't believe you're doing this, despite the barista curse.
Actually, what is the barista curse? And so, that was the day I started living in Taka Coffee House. 15 days. I have 15 days to prove my worth. Intermission. There's an intermission? What? This game is so weird. Deep in the darkness, in the Peak District, where the most prominent of Cupper families reside, Wong among them stands tall in the shadows. But the shadow is wavering, losing its composure. A minor disturbance has rattled her peace of mind. She knows that if this isn't taken care of prudently, it could spell doom to her house.
It can't be. He shouldn't be here. It can't be him.
The shadow blurs away as she steps into the moonlight. Although autumn has just approached, the wind is as chilly as winter snow. Why, I wouldn't get too carried away about being shipped. You know how anime protagonists are. They tend to be like gender, or I guess they tend to be like romance neutral, right? She stares at the full moon. A bright, ominous light shines through, and she remembers the deeds and sins of her long line of ancestors who have stared at the moon at this very same spot. They say the moon was bigger in their ancestral homeland, the one in which they lost 2 centuries ago. When she was a small child, her mother would tell her that the moon would remind them of their purpose. We lost our homeland, but found another one. That's why we can stand at this very spot and appreciate the moonlight. But it only takes one single misstep to lose it all. And if we lose this time, we'll have nowhere else to go. That's why sins have to be done, for the sake of Victoria. There is murderous intent in the air.
Mother, you are trembling.
The low and deep voice cannot hide her immaturity. A little girl of 15 or 16 steps through the surrounding blackness, quietly approaching like a floating doll. The mother thinks. The more she thinks, the more she hesitates. Her life has been inundated with numerous atrocities and brutality unimagined by those that live in the night. She is beyond redemption and wants to spend the remainder of her years to atone. But her child is here, and loose strings need to be taken care of. There are rulers of the people that have fallen through the cracks. Evil must be their master. The rite of passage. It is time. The girl before her trembles, but regains her composure. Are you not ready?
No, Mother, I'm ready.
Good. Your mission is to kill Taka Knight. I give you 3 days. The girl remains silent, before replying with a voice as soft as a whisper.
Who is this Taka Knight?
Why do you need information on a man who will not live for another full moon?
Yes, Mother.
Then tell me, do you have the resolve to see this through?
Yes.
And she repeats her resolve with a signature glare.
In 3 days, Taka Knight shall die.
This is so weird. I mean, I really like it. Chapter 2. I certainly wasn't expecting this when I bought this. I mean, I thought this was going to be just like a very, very standard, Elizabethan era coffee romance, something that you'd see in like a Saturday morning anime. But yeah, this is like way, way beyond that. I mean, it's like bizarre, but like very, very intriguing. In a good way. This bed is cozy. It has the sweet smell of daffodils as well, and the morning breeze from the window smells of pure freshness. Where am I? Oh, now I remember.
You can stay in this room. No one's using it. It's not like you have another place to stay anyway.
That's right. That's how I ended up here. We spoke till late yesterday night, mainly about Alice herself. Apparently she became the owner of this coffee house a year ago when she took out a loan and bought this place so she could fulfill her dream of becoming a pastry shop owner. She also asked me some questions. I told her my connections with this coffee house. Alice was surprised to know that I'm the child of the founders of this coffee house, and she seemed to accept that fact for now. I didn't tell her that I've come from another world. I just don't know how to tell her. Oh, I see. This genre is so popular now. Ever since RE0, both the manga and the anime. I mean, we've seen like Another World anime is just pumping out left and right, and mangas. Wasn't it the other one? The other one is I Was Reborn as a Slime. I mean, that one's like super popular too. So okay, I get it now. I get where this is going. Judging from all the reactions she had when I was asking her dumb, trivial questions about this world, she doesn't seem to be the kind who will easily believe my story. I better keep it a secret for now. There are already too many things at the back of my mind. I gazed in silence, looking at the coffee house I remember so fondly from my childhood days. How did I ever come back here after so many years? I still can't comprehend it.
Good morning, Taka. Are you feeling much better now?
Feeling much better now. Good as new. Thanks for that amazing coffee you gave me yesterday.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to show you a newspaper cutting. I found it in the basement.
A newspaper cutting? I wonder what it is about, but when Alice takes the newspaper clip out, I immediately recognize the person in the photo. Father?
Yes, that's Richter Knight, the legendary barista champion from 20 years ago.
Legendary barista?
After taking over this coffee house, I picked up stories about the founders. It turns out he was quite famous at the time.
My father was famous? He never told me anything about this.
He became famous by winning the barista championships and getting a really high score. The score still hasn't been beaten for the past 20 years. See there, up on the wall? That's the Eternity Badge, a badge only won by the best baristas in Victoria. Of course, your father hasn't been seen in Victoria for many years. They never knew he migrated to the West Coast states, so not many remember him anymore. Oh yeah, I mean, definitely check out RE0. It's it's really hard to. It's kind of hard to describe because it's like, I mean, it's somebody from our world being trapped in another world, but it's not like it's not like an action series. It's I mean, it's more drama, and the main character is not a typical hero type. So just kind of bear that in mind. It's not going to be like it's not going to be how I became a slime or or something that's like a more modern take. But I will suggest people check it out. It's one of those things where it's like you don't really understand it like in the first 4 episodes, and then it kind of really gets good as it continues to go on. And then the first season ending is like, what? It's like, what the hell is going on here? But it's good. Definitely check it out. The manga or the anime, depending on which is more convenient for you. Let's see. Alice is assuming our whole family moved away. That could not be further from the truth. As I stare at the photo of my father, proud of receiving the trophy for his accomplishments, how should I feel about it? Anger? Rage? How dare he? Taka, are you all right? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just reading the article. You looked horrible for a moment. Is something the matter? Of course something's the matter. How would you feel if you had a father who hid all these secrets from you? I despise him from the bottom of my heart. No matter how many trophies he takes home, that will never change. My face must have looked horrible a moment ago, but that could not be helped. If there's a demon lurking inside me, I would not attempt to hide it. Nonetheless, I feel sorry for Alice. She gave me this article out of her own kindness, but I can't even say proper thanks. Yeah, in fact, if I'm recalling correctly, I mean, the main character in RE0 is kind of a wimp. To start. So, he gets a little bit better later on, but he's not, like, a strong character. But he is, like, strongly characterized, meaning that he does have a very definite personality. And then there are characters around him that do the fighting for the action portions of it, but it's not an action anime. So just like I said, if you as long as you understand that it's supposed to be an action anime, and it's supposed to be more dramatic, then you're going to be in the right frame of mind to watch it. Thanks for finding this article, Alice. It means a lot to me. I'm glad. I lied, and Alice can probably tell. Anyway, I should get going. I'm supposed to head to the Coffee Academia and register for the exam, right? Before you head off to the Coffee Academia, I need some basic information from you to officially hire you as a barista. So, your name is Taka Knight, and you recently moved back to Victoria from the West Coast states. Also, since you'll be helping out at the coffee house, I need to know what you're good at. Do you have any useful skills? I studied electrical engineering, boring but useful stuff. I have thousands of years of knowledge from another timeline unknown to this world. I'm just good at talking to girls and flirting around. Well, I don't think Taka is good at this. This would be a lie. I have thousands of years of knowledge. Well, that would also be funny, but a lie. I think this is probably the right answer. Electrical engineering. I studied electrical engineering at university. Oh, you know how electricity works? I saw a demonstration at Moria Coffee House the other day. They do feel convenient. The lights were really bright. They could light up the whole coffee house at night. But they're so expensive to install. Also, does that mean I'd have to work during the evenings? I don't like the idea of that at all. Wait, so electricity is not a thing here? Our coffee house only uses gas lamps, and we only switch it on during rainy days. If that's the case, then I guess there's not much use for my major here. This is the saddest story I've ever heard. I spent 4 years of my life doing the math, studying hard, while my friends were all going on dates every weekend.
And now you tell me there's not a single light bulb in this coffee house for me to fix? Oh, the irony.
I think that's enough information for now. I need to get back to work.
I'll head off to the Coffee Academia now. How do I get there?
You can walk up the hill from here. It takes around 30 minutes by foot.
30 minutes of walking uphill? That sounds like a lot of walking. Is there any public transportation I can take?
You can take the escalators up the hill, or up to the hill.
Escalators up the hill?
Once you see it, you'll understand. Just take the flight of escalators all the way to the top. The Coffee Academia is hard to miss.
I farewell Alice and start up the upward ascent along the stony footpath. The alleys wind back and forth from left to right, but with uneven steps that make the climb even tougher. Poof! I'm already knackered. That's when I spot an old man looking at me thoughtfully. Then he points towards my back. I turn around and see a column of steam pipes rising into the air, pumping out a white layer of fog from a distance. I walk over, and that's when I see it. I see an escalator system powered by roaring steam engines sloping upwards towards the hilltop. Outdoor escalators? Who would have thought of that? So I could just walk up the escalators and I should get to the top of the hill in no time.
Hey!
Did I just hear a voice from behind?
Hey, watch out!
I feel a breeze of danger sweeping my back. I feel a breeze of danger sweeping my back? Okay. I ready myself with my only weapon, my bare arms, and rotate my body as quick as I can to face the incoming peril. A bike is rushing towards me. The girl on the bike is looking at me with bewildered eyes. She is desperately trying to force her bike from advancing forward, but the slope is steep and the bike's momentum keeps pushing it along further. I am not helping. My mind is frozen. I am unable to move my body out of the way. Fear is gripping me and not letting me go. I smell the scent of the roaring tires, hungry and keen to pull me under their devilish grind. But just before impact, with only inches separate us, the bike comes to a screeching halt. Her bike stops, but the girl doesn't. Her whole body swings forward like an upside-down pendulum. There is nothing I can do than to stand there and look shocked. Her body clashes with mine like a WWE wrestler, keen to breaking my bones. We both start rolling like donuts on a sloped street. Paper bags fly up in the air and hit the pavement with a bang. They burst open, cracking like popcorn in an oven. Little beans roll out from the bags and frantically race along the descending road. While my eyes are fixated on the destiny of the coffee beans, my arms are busy catching onto the escalator handles. I manage to break my fall. But that's when the girl's head hit me on the forehead, and the world seemed to black out for a moment.
What is wrong with you? Are you blind? How could you suddenly swirl your body forward like that?
I pull myself up and take one quick glance at the girl in front of me. She's sitting on the pavement, one hand over her head, the other hand leaning against the pavement, barely trying to support herself. There are scratches on her face. Her stockings are ripped. Apologize? Wait a minute. Isn't this your fault? Don't worry, I know first aid. Let me inspect you. Oh, okay. This is not a hentai visual novel, so yeah, let's just apologize. I'm so sorry. I look at her again. She's still sitting there, one arm on her forehead, seemingly in a lot of pain. I should help pull her up. I slowly raise myself up from the floor and offer her a hand. Here, let me... But my legs suddenly wobble and I lose support. My knees bend and I find myself tripping forward. Well, of course I do. I didn't realize how steep the road was until now. Gravity pulls me towards the ground, but between me and the ground is a soft cushion of human flesh. It doesn't take me long to figure out where this soft piece of cushion is coming from. It can't be muscles, nor are they bones. They're just too soft. My head is sitting comfortably on her breast. At that instant, time freezes. I always wondered, what would it feel like to receive the full wrath of an angry girl? I mean, I used to tease girls at school, and I could make them very angry. But there was always an element of fun and flirting. We all knew it was just a joke in the end. But as time starts to unfreeze, and each frame goes by in slow motion, I can see her head slowly lifting up, her eyes rising upwards to meet mine. I can sense burning, choking flames rising up from her pupils. The heat gradually becomes unbearable. She lifts her head up to level with mine, looking at me as if She wants to engulf me in a sea of flames.
What are you doing?
I immediately pull myself up and take a step back. I was just trying to help you up. Her eyes are filled with untamed rage. She looks at me in total disbelief.
You, sir, are one untrustworthy, deceitful, and unconvincingly feeble human being. You should cut off your hands and tie them to your mouth so no one can hear your lies.
Hey, I was really trying to help. But she isn't listening anymore. She's now scanning her surroundings, looking at the coffee beans lying dormant like dead bodies on the pavement. What is this? What is this visual novel? Oh my god.
Oh no, my coffee beans!
Half a dozen packs of coffee beans all spread across the road. What a sight it is. Some pedestrians peek over and give a sympathetic sigh.
Oh my Kona, my week's wage.
Now I feel really sorry for her. She really cares about the coffee beans, like they're her own children. I bend over and help her pick up the packs of coffee beans on the floor, putting them back into her bike seat, or bike basket. Here you go. Don't worry too much about it. They're just coffee beans. She gives me a cold stare.
Just coffee beans? These coffee beans are worth more than you can imagine.
What's her name? Ocean?
Don't think that I'll forgive you. And it won't matter anyway. Not that I will ever see you again.
She hops onto her bike and rides away. What was that attitude? Now I'm in such a bad mood I don't feel like roaming the streets anymore. I should head over to the Coffee Academia. I walk into the main entrance and find myself staring at the main hall of the library from the upper ground floor. Lines of sun rays beam into the library floor from the glass ceilings, lighting up the spiral staircase and the nearby bookshelves. There seems to be an insignia on top of the wall just under the window ceilings. It reads Victoria. Do I see coffee beans drawn on top of the left crest? There's also a ship at the bottom right. What does the cup emitting a glowing ray at the top supposed to mean? The librarian seems to be available now. I better go and speak to him. Excuse me.
Yes, how may I help you, sir?
I'd like to register for the barista test. I was wondering if... I stopped there as the librarian doesn't seem to be listening to me anymore. He has turned around to face someone else. It's Lady Stanley.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can serve this gentleman first. I can wait.
What should I say? Alice told me you could read minds. After you, milady. I mean, she could read my mind there for a minute. But she's not the only one, apparently. I guess if you don't consciously think about closing your mind in this world, then people can just read your thoughts, which, would be really scary. I certainly wouldn't be able to leave my house if that was the case. Now, after you, milady. After you, milady. Ladies first.
Milady?
Wait, isn't that how peasants address noblewomen in the city?
Peasants? Noblewomen? You have a very peculiar pool of vocabulary.
Is she reading my mind? This is so funny. I don't have to say anything and she knows everything. But I better be careful not to think about anything that will offend her, such as sex. But the moment my mind triggers the word sex, I immediately regret it. My mind starts to visualize every movie scene I've seen in my life. My face starts to blush.
Oh dear, you have led a very interesting life, haven't you?
Not really. I just enjoy reading.
Anyway, so rude of me not to introduce myself. I'm Concordia Stanley, governess of Victoria, but you probably already knew that.
So she's introducing herself? She's polite. A far cry from what I was expecting from someone of her status. Just then I feel a nudge on my shoulder. I glance to my left to see the librarian staring at me, seemingly whispering something towards my ear. Introduction? Oh, I apologize. My name is Taka Knight.
Taka Knight, did you say?
The air suddenly becomes thick with intrigue. At that instant, I fear I might have said something wrong, even though it was only my name which was spoken.
Taka Knight, did you say?
But Lady Stanley immediately gives me a smile, dissipating the uneasiness in the air. Oh, so weird what they don't have the voice actors read. Nice to meet you, Mr. Knight. Anyway, I'm only here to ask for a list of books related to the Raging Fire of Judith. Specifically on books that might have a contrarian view of the mandatory death sentence. I'll come back later. Lady Stanley walks away, leaving me facing the librarian alone. The Raging Fire of Judith? Sounds like some fantasy novel. I wonder what it's about. That's when I hear the voice of an irritated librarian speaking into my ears. So, did you say you want to register for the barista test? Let me see. I'm afraid the next available slot for the test will be 2 weeks later on a Monday morning. 2 weeks later? On a Monday? That's the day before Taka Coffee House gets closed down. That means I won't be able to do a retest if I fail. That sounded like a shame. Now, would you like me to put you in for the test? But judging by your panicking tone, I guess you don't have much choice, do you? I really don't like the tone of this librarian, but I guess he's right. I have to take that spot. Yes, please put me in. Fine. May I have your name and the coffee house you are currently employed in? Taka Knight, from Taka Coffee House. Is there a brewing method you are particularly skilled at? Brewing method? The librarian spots my confusion and gives me an unfriendly smirk. I'll just put you as to be decided for now, but of course my advice for you is to have a serious revision before attempting the test. We do not want to waste anyone's time, do we? I can't stand the look on his face. Mr. Knight, are you familiar with the syllabus? No, not really. The test consists of 3 parts: cupping, brewing, and the coffee duel. Good luck. Aren't you going to explain what cupping, brewing, and the coffee duel means? Oh dear, is there anything worth explaining? I mean, we both know that I'm clueless with everything that's happening here, so let's not pretend otherwise. So first, what is cupping? And I need to participate in the coffee duel as well? The coffee duel is just to test whether you have the ability to perform caffeine or not. Winning is optional. Whew, I can live with that. I am more worried that you do not seem to understand the concept of cupping. I would advise you to quickly find someone who can enlighten you on this matter. For your benefit, the Coffee Academia offers a place for trainee baristas like you to practice your skills. If you head down to the lower ground floor, you will find the cupping room, which is where we store a collection of coffee beans from around the world. Thanks to the generous subsidies from the Crown, you are free to practice with the coffee beans as many times as you like. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? What else do you want to know? Let's see, the Victorian insignia. Is this also a library? I'll just take a look. Well, let's look about the Victorian insignia. I see you have noticed the insignia on the top wall of this building. That's Victoria's insignia. It also serves as the royal crest. The insignia dates back more than 200 years, when the city of Victoria was established by our founder, Queen Victoria. During her reign, Victoria was well known as the coffee capital of the world, the coffee beans representing our status as the world's coffee trading center. The ship represents Victoria's maritime strength. After the conclusion of the Caffeine Wars, Victoria became the rulers of the eastern seas. Of course, we have the Cup of Eternity, which sits at the top of the crest, a symbol of the nation's purpose of existence, the pursuit for the Cup of Eternity that will lead us to achieve divinity. Well, what's that supposed to mean? Why to achieve divinity? I wait for a moment, expecting him to say more, but he just stops there and doesn't add more to his explanation. What else do I want to know? Is this also a library? I can't imagine it being anything else. The Coffee Academia indeed has the most expansive collection of books and historical artifacts in Victoria. From history books to books about coffee, science and technology, they all can be found here. If there's a certain book you want to find, I'm here to assist. I'm fine for now, thanks. I'm in dire need of studying the history of this world, but I don't have time to read books. What else do I want to know? I'll have a look around. I'll take a look around, thank you. My pleasure. I should check out the cupping rooms on the lower ground floor. I head towards the stairways that lead to the lower floors. On the lower floor stands a hallway which leads to many rooms. I try opening one of the rooms, but the doors are locked. So which room is the cupping room? Mr. Smirky seems to be the kind of person who gives very brief and useless instructions. Wah! Did I just hear a murmuring sound? Oh, okay. That's voice acted. Huh? Where is it coming from? The sound seems to be coming from that room. Okay, great. An empty room. Look at all that mess. Coffee beans on the floor. The last thing I want is for the librarian to come in and accuse me of messing up the room, forcing me to spend the rest of the day cleaning up somebody's mess. What was that? Hello? The sacks are coughing. I must be dreaming. Oh, wait. It's not coming from the sacks. The sound is coming from under the sacks. Someone's being crushed under the sacks. These sacks are heavy. I can't lift them up. Need help. I run over to the door and scream as loud as I can. Help! The only response I get is the echoes of my own voice, bouncing back from the end of the hallway. Then all goes silent. Really? Not a single person on this floor? I thought this was the coffee academia. How can the cupping rooms be so empty? Don't you guys love coffee? No help was coming. I run back to the back of the room. I'll have to try and lift these sacks up myself. That's when I notice the sacks are trembling. Wait, are the sacks ripping apart? A sudden flush of energy forces me back. A flash of white blinds my vision. I'm temporarily unable to see anything other than white. And then I hear a loud thud. Coffee beans start flying out from the sacks, like bullets spraying towards the ceiling. Ouch, that really hurts. Wait, who is that? And that's when I see her. Under the rain of coffee beans showering upon me, I see a girl in a red uniform with a brass metal cap flying towards me. Rays of light shining from the windows illuminate her delicate long hair, which flickers like golden strings. Her braids swing up towards the ceiling, sweeping away the remaining coffee beans high up in the air. Her eyes are as green as the emerald birthstones, shining brightly and reflecting a vivid tone. She gives me a bewildered stare, and in her eyes I see my own reflection, with an equally confounded expression as she flies towards me. But even in midair she manages to retain her posture and dignity as our eyes meet each other. As if she is greeting me, offering our first introduction, it's a rendezvous in the air. I catch her hands, embracing the tenderness of her skin, expecting the momentum of her body to push me back. But instead of a hard impact, she softly lands onto my arms like a soft, cuddly teddy bear, as if she was floating in the air all along. And as she draws close, my nostrils are drowned in the sea of daffodils. The richness of her scent puts me into a dreamy trance. And that's when she smiles at me.
Phew! I thought I was going to drown in there. Luckily, I still had some caffeine flowing through my veins. Enough to blast them all away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the start of the game, so we're gonna probably be introduced to a couple more characters, I would imagine.
Thank you for saving me. I could have hit my head if you hadn't broken my fall.
I think the cover has 4 girls on it. I think it featured 4 other protagonists, maybe 5. I didn't do anything really. I was like a spoon.
A spoon? What do you mean by a spoon?
Yeah, a spoon. Floating in the room. I got lucky and caught some sugar flying into the air. It was, sweet?
You're funny.
Is that referring to something? I don't. That burst of light, it came from her. Was that the power of caffeine? The girl with the strange metal cap looks around. Coffee beans are now scattered everywhere.
Oh no! I made such a mess. This is going to take a while to clean up.
What happened? Why were you under a pile of sacks?
Because a shipment of very special coffee beans arrived this morning.
Special coffee beans?
Yes, a shipment of Mayan coffee beans that everyone in Victoria has been waiting for. I ordered a sack which was due to arrive this morning. But the delivery person stacked it high up on the shelf. I didn't want to bother anyone, so I tried getting it myself. But then, the whole pile fell on top of me. That's how I ended up stuck underneath.
Let's see, you're lucky you didn't get hurt. You should have asked for help. Lucky they fell, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to hold you in my arms. Okay. Oh, well, that's the incel answer. You're lucky you didn't get hurt. You're lucky you didn't break any bones. You have strong bones. Wait, that's a stupid answer. Why would I say that? Brilliant, just brilliant. Commenting on the strength of her bones will definitely cheer her up. No wonder I've had so little success with girls all my life.
Thank you. I'm equally surprised. I do have strong bones.
I'm glad she takes the compliment.
In fact, I've never broken a single bone in my life.
Oh, I have technically also not broken a single bone, but I broke my nose. And it's not technically a bone.
Oh, speaking of which, are you hurt?
Oh, no, I'm alright. You did the right thing. Actually, it hurts terribly. Next time she's stuck under a pile of beans, I'm out of here. What's so special about these coffee beans?
Let me explain.
Oh, they are coffee beans from the Mayan highlands, from a family estate with only 50 hectares, grown at altitudes of 1950 to 2250 meters above sea level. The valley is hot during the day due to the enclosed valley, but the mists from the Pacific Ocean cool the valley down to 15 degrees during the night. The shade and cover allow the coffee cherries to absorb more sugar and produce more acid, giving it a sweeter, sugary taste with yellow fruit characteristics. The valley are also surrounded by active volcanoes. The soil is rich with earthy flavors, making it one of the most versatile coffee beans to be produced this year.
I only understood half of what you just said. But from what I gather, you're basically saying these are excellent coffee beans.
Not only are they excellent coffee beans, they are very rare as well, produced as a microbatch. The estate has only shipped 7 sacks of these coffee beans this year, and only 2 sacks were shipped to Victoria. And 1 sack is now laying on the floor in front of us.
7 sacks in the whole world? This is an expensive mess.
Yes, it is an expensive mess, but very much worth it. If I can have a cup of Mayan coffee from this estate every morning, I'll be able to perform a variety of caffeine, like teleportation, vaporization, and telepathy.
Telepathy? You mean you could read my mind? That's really cool. Can you teach me? Need to close my mind. You're cute, you're cute, you're cute. I will close my mind. I take a step back. What if she reads my mind now and sees all my dirty thoughts? I better shut my mind out.
Are you alright?
She's reading my mind now. I have to stop thinking.
I can't read your mind. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet.
You are reading my mind right now.
Anyone would figure out what you're thinking right now. You're such a funny person.
Actually, you're right. Sorry, we haven't introduced ourselves yet. I'm Taka, and you are?
Who am I? Oh, of course, because we have not been introduced yet.
Yes.
You can call me Eliza. I come here to practice cupping every day. What about you, Taka? Why are you here?
I'm here to register for the barista test.
Oh, the barista test. You are very brave. I always have high respect for baristas who work hard to achieve their dreams.
Yep, tell me about it. My childhood dream was to become a barista and brew coffee every day.
I heard they just changed the syllabus last week.
They changed the syllabus?
Yes, now baristas will need to pass a coffee duel as well. I heard the pass rate fell to 30% after they made this change.
30%? I'm doomed.
What's wrong, Taka?
Embarrassed to say, but not only am I hopeless in caffeine, I actually don't even know what cupping means.
Cupping is just the observation of taste and aroma of a coffee brew. If you want to practice cupping and the coffee duel, I am happy to help you.
You will help me?
Of course, you saved my life. This is my opportunity to repay you. Today is probably not a good time to go over it, as I need to clean up this room. I will need to sort the coffee beans. Some beans from different sacks were mixed up, but I'm here every day except for Sunday, so you can drop by anytime you like.
Really? You're going to help me? I'm speechless. But did she say she was going to clean up the room? I look over her head and coffee beans are scattered around every corner. It feels like a lot of work for one person. Should I help her? I promised Alice I'd be back by noon. It's already past noon by now. This is a problem. Will Alice be angry? Need to go back to the coffee house. I'll stay and help. Let's save here. I'll stay and help.
Oh, thank you. That would be great.
Okay, let's do it. I bent down to pick up the coffee beans one by one. It'll be just like picking up strawberries. Easy. I can even sing a Beatles song while we're doing it. Coffee beans forever, coffee beans forever, coffee beans forever. I don't know what Beatles song that could possibly be. What are you doing, Taka? And what are you singing? You don't have to pick up the coffee beans like that. Oh, yes. Stupid me. We can use a vacuum cleaner. A vacuum cleaner? What's a vacuum cleaner? Oops. Me and my stupid mouth again. I have to make something up that makes sense to her. Well, a vacuum cleaner is like magic. I mean, caffeine. A kind of caffeine that can control air movements. Create a wind force to sweep up all the coffee beans into a giant bag. I see. The air caffeine. I get what you mean now. Unfortunately, we are not Praetorians, so we cannot use caffeine to control the wind. Oh, only Praetorians can use air caffeine? How come? Caffeine depends on your belief system. Victorians and Praetorians simply believe in different things, so the types of caffeine we perform are different. So you can't perform air caffeine? Unfortunately, I can't. Oh, wait, now this is... now this is the airbender. But there is a better way to pick them up. Give me a minute. Eliza comes back with a huge machine. A metal pipe sticks out from the four-wheel engine. This is our latest invention from the industrialists. It's called the mechanical floor sweeper. Once the engines are turned on, it creates a whirlwind and sucks in all the scraps on the floor. We can use it to sweep up the coffee beans. Oh, that is indeed very handy. Oh, that's literally a vacuum cleaner. Oh, is this what you were talking about? But it doesn't run on caffeine. I'm confused. Never mind. I help Eliza vacuum the floor while Eliza salvages the coffee beans still inside their sacks. Not very long after, the whole room is once again clean. Now comes the hot part. Unfortunately, some coffee beans were mixed up with the other sacks. We'll need to sort them out. Okay, is there a sorting machine, or can you use caffeine to sort them out? No, we can't. We'll need to sort them out one by one, by hand. By hand? Yes, by hand. If even one coffee bean gets mixed up, it will affect the final quality of the coffee brew, so we need to be careful not to make any mistakes. I look over the sack of coffee beans. They all look the same to me. No, they're not the same. Look carefully at these two coffee beans. This one appears to be rounder, while the other one here looks oval. The oval one is what we call an Arabica coffee bean, while the one with the rounder shape is the Robusta coffee bean. So, as long as we pay attention to the shape of the beans, we should be able to sort them all out into their own packs. Alright, let's get started then. This is actually harder than I thought. I look at the coffee beans, which were supposedly different, but it's really hard to tell. But Eliza always notices when I sort them into the wrong pack. Wait, Taka, that's a Robusta bean you've just placed into the Arabica sack. Put it back over there. Eventually, I make fewer and fewer mistakes. The room starts to feel a bit quiet as Eliza and I just keep focusing on the coffee beans. I feel like striking up a conversation. Want to hear some coffee puns? Tell me more about caffeine. So, Eliza, you're really good at caffeine, aren't you? I'm not really that good at it. I barely scratched the surface of caffeine. So, for caffeine, I'm now at level 4. Level 4? Cool, so there's a leveling mechanism as well? I'm getting excited now. For example, with fire caffeine at level 1, a level 1 cuppa can create a spark. It's useful for starting a fire. At level 2, you're able to create an orange flame ball the size of your palms. Level 3 is when you can control and manipulate the fireball and send it towards your opponent. You need to master level 3 before you can use fire caffeine in a proper coffee duel. Then there's level 4, where you can create blue flames instead of orange flames, which are much more powerful. I see. So the coffee duel I saw yesterday, both duelists were at least level 4, since they both use blue flames. Well, what about level 5? There is no level 5. There is no level 5? You just told me you barely scratched the surface with caffeine.
Even in level 4, there's a huge difference in everyone's abilities.
Say, yesterday I saw a coffee duel between Lady Stanley and a barista from Steamtown Coffee House. Is that the difference you were talking about?
Oh, did you get to see Lady Stanley in a coffee duel? That sounds so exciting. She always puts on a great show.
Yeah, she definitely looked astounding.
I'm talking about her caffeine abilities, Taka.
Of course, I was referring to that. What else would I be talking about?
Although the barista is at level 4, his technique was much weaker, so he had... Well, so he had absolutely no chance against Lady Stanley to begin with.
So, from what I've heard, only certain types of coffee can produce a fireball. Is that correct?
That's correct. Different coffee beans produce different kinds of flavors and aromas. The flavor that corresponds to fire is pungent and spices. So, if you want to produce fire caffeine, coffee beans grown in plantations near volcanic soil are the best. You can also mimic the pungent flavors with an espresso as well.
So that's why they had an espresso duel yesterday. Still, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. For instance, the most basic question. I've had many cups of coffee in my life, but I could never quite say a coffee tastes, well, pungent.
It depends on your palate sensitivity. That's why every Victorian is trained in cupping skills from an early age. Let's take it one step at a time, Taka. I will teach you next time you come over.
All right. After an hour, all the coffee beans are sorted back into their rightful sacks. Finally, I thought this would never end.
Thanks for the help, Taka. It's getting a bit late. I'm sorry, but I must go home now.
I guess I need to head back too. I wonder what Alice is thinking right now. She must be really angry.
Taka, don't forget to come back for your cupping lessons. Just treat this as a way for me to repay you for your assistance today. Oh, you probably need special permission to come in here. I'll let the librarian know that you can enter this room.
Why do I need permission? I thought the cupping room was open to the public.
Oh, but this isn't the cupping room. That's on the other side of the building.
What? All this time I was in the wrong room?
That's why I was surprised you found me this morning. I guess it all makes sense now.
It actually makes sense to me as well. The room has been empty the entire day. I thought there would have been more people here. I returned to the upper ground floor of the Coffee Academia. The librarian gives me a curious stare. I better get going. Alice is probably wondering what happened to me. I'm finally back. I hope Alice isn't angry at me for coming back so late. A man with a copper mask walks out from the coffee house. A man with a copper mask? So uncanny. Alice, I'm back. Alice? Where is Alice? I look around. Should I search for her? But the coffee house is so tiny I can see every corner from where I'm standing. Alice is nowhere to be seen. I have a bad feeling about this. Alice? Where is she? The coffee house is open. A man just walked out. Wait, a man just walked out? A man with a copper mask.
Taka Knight, did you say?
How could I be so dumb? I literally jumped out from a plane and entered an unknown world. Shouldn't I be more wary of who I am? My appearance here has a purpose, and these people, they seem to know me. Have I already triggered a conspiracy against me that have put those close to me in danger? No, Alice. No, the kind Alice. The Alice who saved me when I nearly died. Alice! I run outside, my whole body trembling, my mind in a state of fear-induced numbness. If anything happens to Alice, I wouldn't be able to... Bang!
Ouch! Watch where you're going, Taka.
Alice, you're all right. I thought you were...
What's wrong, Taka? I was just at the basement. Did anything happen?
Oh, we have a basement?
Of course. I was cooking dinner for you. I figured you had little to eat for the whole day, so I made you some ratatouille.
You did?
Just sit down. I'll go and grab your dinner.
Oh, whew, that really scared me a bit. Although now I think about it, it was just me acting over the top.
Hey, Taka, it's ready. Your ratatouille.
You made this for me? I looked at the baked tray that Alice is holding. Eggplants, courgettes, tomatoes, potatoes, all sliced and arranged in perfect shapes. The combination of onion and garlic, with a hint of herbs spread across the casserole, releases a sweet, appealing aroma into the air. The smell triggers my salivary glands, and my appetite has taken control of my whole body. My stomach is stirring. I cannot control myself anymore. I can hear the potatoes screaming out in unison. Eat me! Eat me! Eat me! Yes, if you so want to be eaten, the only thing I can do is make your wish come true. I scoop a piece of potato and gobble it up. The flavors and scents all explode like fireworks inside my mouth. I can feel the starch and fibers all melting into my tongue. If I was an anime character, my clothes would be ripping apart right now. Alice is a great cook. There's no denying that. Oh, okay. That's also reference to Food Wars. Boy, this game is like all over the place.
Wow, Taka, you are indeed very hungry. I should have made more.
Oh no, it's already enough for tonight. I'm just a really fast eater.
But I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I want to find more words to praise Alice's cooking skills, but I'm too busy gobbling up every piece of food in the casserole. No wonder Alice's dream is to become a pastry chef. Talent like hers don't come by often. This coffee house should be successful beyond comprehension. But then I am reminded of the fact that this coffee house nearly got shut down yesterday. I wonder how well the coffee house is doing. I probably should ask Alice when I have the chance.
How was your day at the Coffee Academia? Did you sign up for the barista test?
Sure, I did. I even met a friend. She said she'll help me with my cupping training.
That sounds great. Is she really good at cupping? Or a student like you?
To be honest, I really don't know. All I know is that her name is Eliza.
What's she like?
She's around my age with a coffee plunger on her head. Okay, probably not that one. She's a cute girl. She's a coffee girl. She's coffee girl? What? I guess she's coffee girl.
Coffee girl?
Huh, a girl who really, really loves coffee. Everything she said to me was about her love for coffee.
I'm just wondering, if you call her coffee girl because of her love for coffee, then what does that make me?
Pastry girl?
Pastry girl? So is that how you think of me? That I love pastries?
But you do, right? You told me you want to be the best pastry chef in the world.
Yes, I do. So, Taka, what do you usually like to start the day with? Coffee or pastry?
That's such a loaded question. I could trigger a bad ending here if I'm not careful. You can't have one without the other.
Wrong answer.
Bad ending.
Hey, Taka, stop fooling around. Don't lie on the floor.
This game. Oh, this thing is hilarious.
I know you're acting, Taka. You didn't have to throw yourself onto the floor like that.
Oh, the wooden floor is harder than I thought. Nearly cracked my spine. Enough about me. How was your day?
Business was great. Sir Alex came by this evening.
Sir Alex?
If you see him, you'll recognize him. He wears a copper mask on his face.
Oh, so the man with the copper mask is called Sir Alex. Looks like he's a regular customer, not a cold-blooded assassin. Maybe I'm just being too nervy. Lady Stanley sure acted strange when I told her my name, but nobody else seems to mind.
Other than that, we sold 2 slices of cake, and I donated the rest to our neighbors.
I was still recalling the face of Sir Alex when Alice said something which really bothered me. Wait, did you say we sold 2 slices of cake? How many customers did we get today?
How many? 2 or maybe 3?
Then how is that considered great business, is what I wanted to ask. But somehow I couldn't bring myself to ask, as I'm a bit scared to know the true state of the coffee house. After dinner, Alice says goodbye to me, and I'm left all by myself for the rest of the night. I was too tired yesterday to notice, but today loneliness finally sinks in. I've never felt so alone at night than I am now, all by myself in this coffee house devoid of all presence of phosphorescence. Even the moon is hiding its face. The counter. I wonder how much has changed. No, I don't want to remember it. Not like that. It's too lonely here. And those memories are contaminated. They also contain presence of my father. I'd rather not think about him. It's cruel to say, but I want to be in a place where there are only memories of Mom. In my bedroom, where the full moon faintly lights up the bedroom in a hue of blue, I sit on my bed, silently. The silence here is deafening. I still remember the last time I cried, when I lost my mum. One day, my dad told me Mum wasn't coming back, and I kept crying and crying for the whole day. Mum.
Boys shouldn't cry. You have to be strong, so you can protect Mummy.
But Mum, she was so mean. She kept calling me snotty. She said the only Christmas present I'll ever get is from Santa. From Santa is a what? She said the only Christmas present I'll ever get from Santa is a snot remover. Wah!
You want to be friends with this girl?
Yes, I do, because she's always alone and I feel sorry for her, but she doesn't want to talk to me. She's always sitting there by herself, drawing really cute robots. I want to know how she can draw like that.
Oh, Taka, you're such a sweet child. But sometimes people don't want others to feel sorry for them. Why don't you go and ask for her help instead?
Ask for her help?
You like her pictures? Ask her to teach you how to draw.
But she's always so mean when she sees me.
My child, sometimes all you need to do is ask.
I never knew I had this piece of memory of my mum. Is this what bittersweet tastes like? I can feel it. My mom was somewhere in this city. I just know it. The time spent with Mom were the happiest days in my life. Everything after that was just sad and depressing. I will do everything to find her and tell her how much I love her. I'll do everything to reunite with my happiness. Chapter 3. Okay, boy, I am starting to cough, so I think I'll take a break. But we'll stop it there. Anyway, this is Audapostrophe. You're watching Caffeine, Victoria's Legacy, running on Nintendo Switch. Again, this game is available on the PlayStation and PC. I believe it's also available on the Microsoft Store. I'll have to double check, but I think it's available on all platforms. So, if you're interested in this game or this visual novel for yourself, you can pick it up. It was like I think it was like $18. It wasn't very expensive, especially for a game that actually has some voice acting. Usually, voice acted games are much more expensive than this. I really like it. It's weird. I mean, the setting's weird, the characters are weird, but it's got like a little bit of that kind of harem comedy, which is popular. I think this is actually something we're going to play all the way through. I mean, I'm pretty intrigued by this world and this idea of caffeine, which I guess replaces magic in this world. I think that's pretty intriguing, and the fact that you're a stranger from another dimension or from another parallel universe into it, I think that makes it even more intriguing. We'll see how that plays out. Usually there's some sort of advantage that you're going to have in this genre of visual novel that kind of comes through later. I'm curious to see what that is. Boy, what a surprise. I didn't think I would enjoy this all that much, but it turns out this is probably one of the better visual novels we played this year. And we played a lot of really good ones, so we'll see how it ends up in the end. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.